So if you want to hear any lore in particular, make sure you're in the Discord. I will ask a question once a week, and the first person to get it picks lore for this week. And this week's lore is on Old Olney. Now, Old Olney is a great location that I was very scared of when I was a kid, playing Fallout 3 for the first time. But it's like spelled dumb, Olney, but it's pronounced Oni, like the animator. So Old Olney, I want to read this quote from Three Dog. There's a place you find on a tourist map of DC and its lovely suburbs, and that's the cozy little villa known as Old Olney. Ah, but you locals know the place, am I right? It became a veritable wasteland legend. Why? Because it's filled with goddamn deathclaws. Met a guy once. Name was 12-Finger Johnny. Had one arm. Turns out the other one was ripped off while scavenging in Deathclaw Central. Lucky he made it out alive. Most people don't. At least not in one piece. I've said it before. I'll say it again. First time I ever played Fallout 3, I didn't run into Deathclaws, like ever. Like ever. I kind of just did the main quest, did a couple side stuff, but never really ran into them. So, it is a town in ruin in the year 2277 at the northeast end of the Capitol Wastes. It had the S. Wilson office building. There's no real information given on the wiki. I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com. And there's also a children's hospital. But again, there's not really much there on the wiki. It just seems like stuff that was put there for a quest during Broken Steel, where you have to go get a Tesla coil. You have to go through Old Olney. And they don't really expand on like, oh, hey, children's hospital. Oh, hey, this and that. There's a grocery store. There's a grocery store that there's like nothing known about the grocery store other than right before the bombs dropped or the day the bombs dropped, Quantum had arrived there. So you can grab a couple bottles of Quantum there. There's also a power plant owned by PPE. And on the wiki, there is no name for what PPE stands for. It's just the division of Oni Power Works. So Power Works electricity. I don't know what the other P could be, but there was nothing on the wiki. Like I said, sometime after the war, it seemed like mercs might have tried to build up the town before it became a breeding ground for Deathclaws. Again, statements off the wiki. And the wiki's written really weird because it says there's no history and then it says that. But because of Broken Steel, during the events of it, you can run into Kid and Wint. Kid with 2 Ds, Wint with 1 T. 2 ghouls who suggest that Oni was once almost colonized by ghouls. That's fun. Maybe we didn't have Underworld. That's a cool idea to think of. An entire town just filled with ghouls because it's so far northeast that it's just kind of chilling. Now I want to read some stuff right off the wiki. The town itself is approximately 500 by 500 feet square. It does not seem to be a residential town, but is what looks to be apartments in the southeast corner. There is a main street that runs east to west and usually has 3 Deathclaws wandering around. The inhabitants are just 7 total Deathclaws that roam the town, although the actual number will vary at times. There are several Deathclaws occupying the Old Olney sewers as well. The Deathclaws eventually respawn, so it is impossible to clear the town permanently. If Broken Steel is involved, there are 2 non-hostile ghouls, like I said before, that can be there. And if you do the quest Election Day with Dave, and Dave loses the election and the Republic of Dave is no longer the Republic of Dave, he flees to Old Olney and then just gets eviscerated by the Deathclaw. So there's one more thing I want to talk about if I can find it. There is the prototype medic power armor that can be found deep within the Old Olney sewers, and it is worn by a Dead Brotherhood initiate. Now what's so cool about this armor is that it gives you medics, and I didn't know about this. And I don't know if the game has ever been updated to fix this, but Fallout 3 has this thing where if a body is laying on the ground for X amount of time, it just disappears. So it's actually a piece of armor that you can spend like 70 hours in lower DC, not like, or the metro or whatever, and like not really get northeast and just lose out on arguably one of the best armors in the game, and that really sucks. That really, really sucks. But it also has the ability to get you addicted to medics because I think it gives it to you directly, if I remember correctly. Let's double check. Prototype medic power armor has the ability to administer Med-X, which it will do if the wearer's health drops below 33% or if a limb drops below 25%. Med-X will be dispensed every 2.5 in-game hours. Unlike the standard Med-X injection, this process carries no risk of addiction. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. However, it does draw from the wearer's supply of Med-X, and thus the feature is useless if not as carried. Its outward appearance is identical to T-45D, apart from the shoulders, which have U.S. military roundels on them rather than Brotherhood of Steel insignia. Cool. That's pretty much everything I want to say on Old Olney. It's cool. Oh, actually, I lied to you. Fast traveling to Old Olney deposits the player character in the middle of town and is usually surrounded by a swarm of deathclaws. There is a note next to the skeleton of Carl Wallace in front of the firehouse in the southeast corner of the town, giving a report that his truck had crashed just east of the town next to the gas station. The truck is located east of the town in the direction of Chased Acres Dairy Farm and contains one of the largest stashes of quantum in the wasteland. Like I said, Dave can go there. If he actually survives the trip, he will camp out in the middle of the town next to some trash bins and dead raiders. This is right on the spot in the middle of town in which you fast travel to. Dave will ask the Lone Wanderer to leave the New Republic of Dave if the dialogue is initiated. Doing this 3 times results in him opening fire. Killing him makes the remaining citizens of the Republic of Dave hostile, but you do not lose karma. Cool. Throughout the Capital Wasteland, it is possible to overhear a conversation between raiders mentioning some of their rookies encountering monsters and claws of death up north, possibly referring to Old Olney. Cool. Oh, this is a little behind the scenes off the wiki. Old Olney is based on the real-world location of Olney, Maryland, which is notable as the location of the Olney Federal Support Center, an underground continuity of government communication facilities managed by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That's Old Olney. That's lore.